Okay, if you don't care about the Brexit vote, you should, because your wallet could be hit hard. The stock market, your retirement, and even your mortgage may all be affected. So what does this all mean for you, and more importantly, for your money? Fox Business Network's global markets editor and host of Mornings with Maria, Maria Bartiromo, goes on the record. Nice to see you, Maria.
Hey there, Greta. Thanks so much for having me.
Oh, I'd love to have you here. Okay, so if you're sitting in the Midwest watching this show tonight thinking, I don't travel to London, I don't live there, why does this matter?
Well, it matters a lot because of trade deals and regulation that is in place right now. I mean, I've got the numbers right in front of me, and the EU is Britain's largest trading partner and the largest recipient of Britain's export. The U.S. is #2. So, Greta, if the Brits decide to leave the European Union, they are going to be faced with doing new deals in terms of trade. They're going to have to renegotiate trade deals and renegotiate regulatory frameworks. And as a result, that creates a lot of uncertainty. Now, I will say this. There's been a lot of hysteria around this. Basically, people and the skeptics saying, you know, the UK should stay where it is because the UK is going to have all of this stuff to do, all of these new trade deals, and as a result, there's going to be way too much uncertainty. But if you think back 20 years ago, when the European Union was first coming up with the euro, and Britain decided not to go with the euro, and it kept its British pound, in retrospect, that was a very smart idea, and that was a smart move because the euro has been debatable in terms of whether or not it was really a failure at this point. So I am not saying that the UK should necessarily not have the courage to leave, because in retrospect, they've made the right decisions. But certainly you are talking about new regulations and new trade deals that are in place right now. There's free trade across the Eurozone, and the UK will have to redo those.
Okay, but I mean, change is always chaotic. You move to another apartment, and it's chaotic even to move boxes. So let's assume they get through the chaos. Are the people in the UK? Are they going to be better off than they were than with the EU? Is there a way to predict that?
Well, a lot of people feel like, number one, they will have their independence. They may maybe lose sovereignty by being part of the EU. That's debatable. But, you know, Greta, when you come down to it, this is really about immigration. And it's interesting to note that it's about immigration because this is the theme that's really thread throughout the world right now. Obviously, we're having this debate in the United States. But at the end of the day, if the Brits feel like they can be more secure, that they can control their borders more effectively than having open borders and being part of an umbrella system of the European Union, particularly what we've seen in Brussels, in Paris, in San Bernardino with regard to terrorism, then yeah, they will be better off if they are securing their own borders and coming up with their own regulations. But again, it's a lot to get through before they actually do get that independence. So that's really what the cries are about right now.
All right. If you have a mortgage here in the United States, is it really going to make a difference to a mortgage or to get a future mortgage if they exit or if they stay with the EU?
You know, you make a great point because the financial services industry is probably the most important industry in terms of getting impacted. That's where the financial regulation is right now, and that's what's going to have to be redone. So yeah, you may get impacted if you have a mortgage. Not necessarily. There are people right now saying that if financial services is impacted, they should stick to the same rules that are in place right now, and that may very well be the case. Someone came on my show this morning and basically said, look, the UK is going to be the first in queue in terms of doing a new deal with European countries and doing a new deal in terms of trade and regulation with the US. So there is some reason to believe that financials will have an impact. Jamie Dimon, the CEO of JP Morgan, went to Britain and basically said, look, if you vote to leave, I am going to be pulling resources out and I'm going to be moving them to continental Europe. And that's the worry, that financial services companies will take their operations out of London, move them to places like France, Germany, because that's where all of the deals and the free trade and the regulations are in place. So, again, it's messy, Greta, but what isn't messy if you're trying to make progress?
Well, it certainly is not dull, I can tell you that much. Maria, thank you.
Thanks, Greta.
And you have more in the morning on Mornings with Maria over on Fox Business Channel.